That other major breaking news that's sending shockwaves through the military community tonight. Fort Bragg is back.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth signing a memorandum tonight restoring the name of the Army post known as Fort Liberty since 2023. There is a twist though with this renaming. The post will be named for a different Bragg. The new name pays tribute to Private First Class Roland L. Bragg, a World War II hero who earned the Silver Star and a Purple Heart for his service at the Battle of the Bulge. The post was originally named for Braxton Bragg, a Confederate general and Warrenton native.
I direct the Army to change the name of Fort Liberty, North Carolina to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. That's right, Bragg is back.
Hegseth signing that memo aboard a U.S. Air Force C-17 before landing in Germany. In 2022, an Army commission called for the renaming of Fort Bragg and 8 other military bases that commemorated Confederate officers.
It was part of a racial reckoning that led to the renaming of many places that previously carried the names of Confederate figures and slave owners. Sydney Schofield live here in Raleigh tonight with more on this new move. Sid.
Well, Stephen, Lauren, where I'm standing right now used to be called Cameron Village, but you can see it's now called Village District. The community asking for this name change with its former namesake, Duncan Cameron, being a slave owner. Well, similar calls prompted the name change from Fort Bragg to Fort Liberty, and now, less than 2 years later, it's being changed again. In a ceremony a year and a half ago, the Army officially announced they'd be changing the name of Fort Bragg, 101 years after the country's largest Army installation was established. Named all that time after slave owner and Confederate Army General Braxton Bragg, who fought against the United States in the Civil War, the community pushed for change. And the Army listened, eventually taking inspiration from North Carolina Gold Star mother Patty Elliott, who lost her son, Franklin County native Specialist Daniel Lucas Elliott, while he was serving our country in Iraq.
He knew that we lived in the greatest country there was, and he wanted to preserve that and ensure that his kids would have that also.
When we spoke to her back in 2023, she hoped the name change would foster unity.
Liberty is the cause that every single person that puts on the uniform is fighting for. And I hope that there's so much divisiveness in our world today that that is one thing that we can stand behind all together.
And then,
first question that I asked, should we change the name from Fort Liberty back to Fort Bragg?
In October of last year, Donald Trump visited Fayetteville as he campaigned for his second term, suggesting the name should change back, with newly sworn-in Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth making that happen Monday night, signing this memorandum on a plane heading to an Army garrison in Stuttgart, Germany. It will still be called Fort Bragg, but will instead honor World War II veteran Private First Class Roland Bragg, who earned the Silver Star and Purple Heart during the Battle of the Bulge. Hegseth saying, quote, "This change underscores the installation's legacy of recognizing those who have demonstrated extraordinary service and sacrifice for the nation." The original name change from Fort Bragg to Fort Liberty cost an estimated $6.7 million for things like signage. It's unclear how much taxpayer money will be spent to change it again a year and a half later, as the Trump administration continues to make sweeping cuts to the federal budget. Now, I did talk to Patty Elliott tonight. She now advocates for others who have lost their children while serving our country. She's the national president of American Gold Star Mothers. And because of that role, she cannot comment on this right now, though the name change that was inspired by her son and his sacrifice was in place for less than 2 years. Reporting live tonight, Sydney Schofield, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.